All right, ladies and gentlemen, on this table there's a very large object. I think this is the first 8K TV that I've had in the studio. Is that fair to say, Jack?
Yeah, it is.
That's the first 8K TV. It's taken this long? LG, where you been? Well, I guess you're right here, right now. It's a 75-inch. It's new for 2020. And I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, why 8K? What can I even do in 8K? Can I game in 8K? Can I watch in 8K? And here's the thing. YouTube, you can actually watch 8K. But you also might be interested in 4K high frame rate, because this has the HDMI ports to support those next generation consoles you might pick up. Also, you might just want to shoot your own 8K content, because there are a number of smartphones which are currently capturing 8K themselves in video, and you can throw them on this TV and you can impress all your friends. You can have them come over and go, look, that's my, those are my home videos in 8K. Meanwhile, your TV is 1080p, and these are my home videos in 8K. You see how that all works right there? Anyway, so this is the LG NanoCell AI ThinQ 75 NAN099. It's their top-of-the-line non-OLED TV, and apparently they've done all kinds of fancy things inside of here to get a performance that's similar to OLED, but to give you a price that's a little bit more approachable in the 8K resolution, because it's using their NanoCell technology. There's also a processor built into here. This gets back to the 4K versus 8K content, or even 1080p content. They claim with the new A9 Gen 3, they're gonna be able to upscale all that other content so that you get something kind of close to an 8K experience, even if you don't have that 8K input. We're gonna check that out as well. True cinema experience, so it's got Dolby Atmos. It's apparently got some decent speakers in it, though you might want to put the sound bar or whatever else. A bunch of different modes for sports, even gaming with a lower input lag for when you get those next generation consoles. And then of course it's got all your apps baked in as well. You got Netflix, Disney Plus, Prime Video, Apple TV. I've been using LG's TVs for a long time. You have a quick interface. You have the motion kind of control with their controller. Alexa built in, AirPlay works. It's all out the box. You don't have to connect anything to it if you don't want to. You can start using it right away, just like that. Standing up. Oh baby, I almost got your lens there. Imagine that. Oh, we're gonna hit it. We did it.
Damn,
Yeah. And you can actually leave that piece on the bottom.
a Blu-ray.
A Blu-ray, remember those? Yes. So, start sliding there. That's a lot of pixels in there, I'll tell you what. A lot of people, they hear 8K, they think, oh, that's double 4K. No, it's 4 times 4K. It's a tremendous number of pixels. You don't even get me started on 1080p in 2020. Get me started. Look at all this plastic we have to peel off. This is Kirk's favorite moment. Here we go. I mean, this is our life. This is a moment in time. This is what it actually is. Ain't no fancy B-roll in life, I'll tell you what.
What was that?
You're not gonna get me to repeat that. We gotta flip this. This is gonna be a flipperooski. Woo! There you go. The scale and the scope. 75 inches. Many millions of pixels. All right, let's check out the back here. Inputs, outputs. That's 3 USBs. That's a few extras. Also, these are the important ports right here. Capable of 8K at 60 hertz. These are the new style HDMI ports. There's 4 of them, and they're also going to be capable of 4K high frame rate up to 120 FPS, so that's useful, like I said, for those new game consoles. You also have the old school AV ins if you still want to use those. This one's kind of important. The optical digital audio out. This lets you use your TV essentially as a receiver and then send the optical out to whatever sound setup you have. You also have a headphone output, a LAN port, and an antenna/cable in. Oh, interesting. So you have some cable management as well. If you decide to mount it, you have some cable management. You can send your different cables through here. I think this probably pops off. Oh yeah, there you go. Send your different cables through there, and then you can put this plate over top to keep it looking clean from any angle. Every angle. All right, so this is important. This has to do with the upscaling, because that's going to be a lot of what you're doing with an 8K TV in 2020. Oh, check it. This is a demo. Look at this. Okay, look at his face. Off. On. Boom. Ooh. So apparently the AI knows what faces look like, it knows what trees look like, and sort of fills in the gaps. So it's not just mashing noise in there, but instead it's intelligently guessing which information should be added to your 4K image or even 1080p image so that it looks good on a TV capable of a lot more. LG's deep learning technology can enhance image clarity and resolution according to the content being viewed and provide optimized depth effects and virtual 5.1 three-dimensional surround sound. So I guess we'll turn it on for sound as well. Why not? All right, I'm going to load up YouTube as you would if you were looking for 8K content right now. There's actually quite a bit on YouTube. Thank goodness for that. So we can see the actual intended number of pixels without any upscaling necessary. Now this is going to become more common fairly shortly because of the new video codecs that are emerging that can take 8K and make it small enough that you can stream it without having tremendous bandwidth, though we do have pretty decent bandwidth here. Japan. Oh, that's all the Ks. So here's the thing. It's using a new codec. I believe it's called AV1. And it's a partnership YouTube has with some TV manufacturers. This TV features it, AV1, which is the reason you can unlock 8K directly in the YouTube app on the TV. No external equipment necessary. So the processor's taking care of everything. You're gonna have to have the bandwidth, as I mentioned, but then, afterwards, Pixel Paradise! That's Japan, Tokyo. Colors, neon, Neo Tokyo. I can't believe Willie Doo's missing it. Willie Doo's a big Tokyo guy. Willie Doo, can you hear me? You know what I can tell you after examining this? The extra pixels gives it an enhanced feeling of depth from the foreground to the background, because it kind of creates a sharper edge around objects as opposed to just sort of mashed potatoes. I'm not calling 4K mashed potatoes, but I'm just saying this is an increased... You can't see it on that video. That's only 4K. I mean, you had to take my reaction. That's what you got to work with here. But I will say, to get the most out of it, you need to think about your viewing distance, certainly. Because as I get further away, it still looks great, there's still tremendous detail, but all of a sudden the human eye, you start to run into human eye issues and the capability of the eye to resolve those pixels at this distance. So I'm going to want to sit pretty close to an 8K TV. I'm going to want to get lost in an 8K TV. I will also mention that this particular video has a lot of dark areas. And one of the things that used to plague LCD technology or anything other than OLED technology is that you would kind of see a gray tone. You would kind of see a mud tone wherever you would have something intended to be black. And that's where OLED had that huge advantage. But as you can see, like down here, where the black bar on the video goes into the water, it's hard to even discern where that line is. You can see it over here because you're not completely black above that. But in the sections that are, that goes to show you that they've done a lot of work on the local dimming stuff. It's never going to be completely to the OLED level, but OLED 8K is an order of magnitude more expensive. This is going to be more approachable for people price-wise who want to step into 8K now. Yeah, it looks way better than the LCD I have at my house right now. I have an older, like a really big, like an 86-inch. And the dimming on that one, you can kind of see it working. On this video, on the other hand, it's a much kind of smoother gradient that it creates between the dark and light regions. Like, you don't see it bleeding over. I mean, you have brightness here and dark right beside it. It's pretty good. That's a cat in 8K? Yeah, that's 8K. Whoa. Look at the hairs. You know how I'm always goofing on the beard hair test? The cat hair test. Or the spider hair. Do spiders have hair?
Dear Lord.
Imagine it at that scale.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Look at the flies on the frog. That's a fly. Whoa. Pixels. That's a frame. That's a frame. Whoa. Very lifelike. See, this is where resolution comes into play. Fine detail, hairs, things like this. As much as I like OLED, you just can't, you may have infinite contrast with OLED, but there's detail. If you capture it in 8K, there's extra detail there if you're looking for it. So 8K, it's fringe stuff. It's still cutting edge. It's that early adopter kind of spec right now. But that's kind of the things, that's the thing about TVs is you don't buy them that often. So if you're in the market for a TV right now, you're thinking about 8K because you kind of want to future-proof it, especially if you're looking at something this scale or with a price tag like that. You want to invest in something that you're not going to have to replace anytime soon, and that's where this comes in. You pair with it the game console component where you need those new HDMI ports anyways, and all of a sudden you can maybe make a case for it. This is obviously going to be more important the bigger the display you choose to go with, because as this thing shrinks or as you sit further away from it, like I said, you run into that issue with being able to actually resolve the detail with your puny little human eyes. If you had his eyes, on the other hand, that'd be a different story. You can sit all the way back there. So if you are going to go with 8K, get a display big enough to really appreciate it. This one is 75 inches. Say go for the bigger one. And I say, who cares about the decor? Sit as close as you can to it. Fill your peripheral. Like, I want to be... Did I just kick the camera? I want to be... Okay, maybe not that close. I want to be right here. Maybe right where this camera is where I want to sit. Which your wife, girlfriend, I don't know if they're going to be happy about that. Kirk, would you have a setup that close?
Oh yeah.
Jack?
Yeah.
Sure.
You can set it up. Some Christopher Nolan. Some Stanley. I think Jack would be sitting there. He'd probably be like right here.